Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Dave Castledine. I'm the CEO of the Civil Contractors Federation New South Wales. I'll begin this morning, if I can, by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we're meeting, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, and by paying my respects to their elders, both past and present. Welcome to the New South Wales Minister for Women, the Honourable Tanya Davies MP, to the CCF New South Wales President Mick Boyle, to Mr Ken Konofsky, CEO of Roads and Maritime Services, and to Ms Chris Pracey, Head of Skills Point Infrastructure, Energy and Construction at TAFE New South Wales. Welcome indeed to all of you distinguished guests who have gathered here today, and to those of you not here but who are watching on live stream as we put it out. Despite the ghastly weather, the rain, the wind, today is a very bright day. For today, we are doing something good. Something I hope that you'll remember, something I hope you'll certainly talk about, and something that you certainly should be proud of. Today, a group of like-minded people and businesses, in partnership with a like-minded government and some key like-minded stakeholders, come together with a single purpose of shifting a very imbalanced load. That imbalance is hurting all involved in our industry in a great many ways, and there is simply no valid reason for it being so. This morning we're going to put into place the latest piece of a 6-element program designed to do one thing: get more females to join and remain in this amazing New South Wales civil construction industry. Now, it's such an easy goal to say, and the name we have given these 6 elements seems so normal, the CCF New South Wales Women in Civil program. But the issue, the problem, the need for change in this industry is significant. So let me explain. Why do we need a Women in Civil program? Well, in a nutshell, we have a major gender diversity issue, a major imbalance. We did a survey of CCF New South Wales members earlier this year. That survey covered employers, but it covered 6,000 of the 40,000 employees directly covered in the industry. Just 10.2% of the industry are female, and when we exclude the 76% of clerical staff, we're left with just 4.2% of our industry being female. At the bottom of that table, you will see, at the bottom of that graph, you will see that the proportion of people who are technical, for want of a better term, blue collar, is a mere 3.2%, and the greatest pool, the greatest resource of our blue collar skilled workers are our blue collar unskilled workers, and yet we have just 2% of those being females. That situation is manifestly wrong, and on social grounds is reason good enough for us to change. But if we can contextualise the problem that we're seeing there in, I guess, quasi-economic terms, then the type of solutions that we as an industry and government can deploy may change, and the resources that we can commit to it become clearer. Now, we are, of course, talking about the CCF, the New South Wales civil infrastructure industry. So let's see what's happening in the New South Wales civil infrastructure industry over the next 10 years. Now, most of you in this room will have seen this slide before, but Minister, if I may, this is research we do every year and have done for the last 4, and we'll be doing it again in January. This is the projection of civil infrastructure work that's going to happen over the next 10 years. It covers private and public spend. It covers all levels of government. It covers, but it does not cover assets. So we've stripped out land, rail, rolling stock, etc. Now that same research to put that in absolute context, let's be clear, this is a very good pipeline. It's thanks to this very clear and very strong civil infrastructure program that the New South Wales Government has embarked on that we'll enjoy a 43% increase in civil infrastructure activity over the next 3 years. And that on the back of a nearly 20% increase in the previous year. In a separate piece of research we did last year, we found that nearly 10,000 extra people are going to be needed to meet the demand for this work. Importantly, when you look at that graph, you see it doesn't drop. It's not peaking. It remains consistent and stable for 10 years. That'll help us with our solutions. But there's another issue that unfortunately adds a little bit more complexity to the picture, and we've covered 3 of the orange boxes in there. There's one more, the bottom left, and that is that in 2015, our Industry Skills Council advised us that 1 in 5, nearly 1 in 5 workers is going to hit retirement age. So not only do we have to find 10,000 new people, we have to find 8,000 to replace the people who are going to hit retirement age, all of a pool from an original 40,000 base. The industry's already feeling the pain of this. Employers are seeing critical skill shortages in engineers, project managers, supervisors, and if you're a plant operator in Sydney in the last 18 months, you've probably had a 50% pay rise. In short, it's not only the right thing to correct the gender imbalance that we see, but for the sake of employers, for the sake of the New South Wales economy, for the sake of your government building the infrastructure that the state so desperately needs, we have to make this correction. The question, of course, is how? So we've spent a considerable amount of time, the Federation spent a considerable amount of time and energy over the last few years talking to women in our industry across New South Wales. And we have a Women in Civil subcommittee that's guided our understanding and crafted our responses. What's absolutely clear is that we have to create an environment that women will want to be a part of. We have to focus on an environment that will welcome them, that will support them, and that will treat them with respect. How? Well, our language and our imaging must align with that intent. We must provide data to debunk the myths about ability. We've got to explain to the world how good this industry is and how exciting and opportunity-rich it is. And we've got to have success stories from both within employers and within employees to be able to communicate that to the world. We can achieve this if we do it together. No one in this room can individually do it. CCF can't do it, I don't think the government can do it, I don't think RMS can do it, I don't think TAFE can do it. But together, I don't think we can but succeed. So, let's have a look at the CCF New South Wales Women in Civil program. This program that's designed, as I said, with 6 elements to encourage females to remain and join in our industry. Now, I should say, whilst there's 6 elements, the reality is that every single one of those elements supporting existing women is going to make the industry more attractive to people to join it. The first element that we've created is a support framework for women of all skill levels, a mentoring program. And our program is characterised by outcomes and speed. Each program will be just 6 to 9 months long and have minimum KPIs in meeting frequency. CCF is the party that calls for volunteers. CCF will select the players. CCF matches the pairs, and we provide formal training for the mentors and mentees. And I am absolutely delighted to say that we are having the first pilot group of 20 pairs meeting straight after this session in the room adjoining. Secondly, in just a few days, we're going to be launching our virtual communities. Now, this is all about connecting women in regional areas. It's about connecting women who would otherwise be in a competing environment in a small town, and we'll connect women across a multitude of towns where they're not having to compete with their colleagues in their geographic location. It's all about matching, it's about positioning, it's about engaging, it's about providing information and learning along the way, but it's also about connecting communities. Thirdly, we must have champions. We must talk about them because champions shatter stereotypes, and they are absolutely impossible to argue against. Champions like CCF's own Kayleen Bosman. She's been in the industry, she's standing over there, she's been in the industry for 10 years, she's a very skilled plant operator, she just happens to have 2 young children. We also need to be on the front foot. We need to present our case to young women and their parents, and we need to show how good our industry is. And for that, we must speak the language of our audience, and we must speak through their communication channels. We've created a new website, a new Facebook, a whole new range of social media streams which are about communicating with these people. And we aren't doing it just from the safety of our offices. We're going out to our target audience. We've embarked, with the support of the New South Wales Government, thank you, on a 2-year program to go out to schools in New South Wales, across all of New South Wales, to talk about how wonderful this industry is. Kayleen's our champion. She's out in the field, and I've set a KPI for all of the collateral that goes out, all the material, all the messaging, that it be equally balanced between male and females. And so now we come to the 6th element of our program and what we're all here for today. The unashamedly overt signing by employers of a commitment for them to create an environment of support for women in their businesses. So why are we doing this? Well, as I said earlier, it's up to industry to create the environment we want ourselves to be and to be seen as. And we need to take strong action to create an environment that someone looking in shows that there is support and respect for women. For such a place that is supportive and respectful will be seen as welcoming and a potential career home for their children and for themselves. So to do that, we needed a list of employers who have publicly demonstrated a commitment to support women in their businesses. These employers will lead the way and draw others with them. We needed these champions so we can say, look at this list. They are already doing it. So we reached out to our larger members to find these champions. And Minister, I have to say what happened next was pretty special. Now, CCF is a member-based organisation. Our members have to abide by a code of conduct. Now, that's not in our constitution, it's not mandatory, but it's mandatory now because our members have made it so. They voluntarily introduced that a few years ago. Under the code, there are strict standards of behaviour required, and they impact on commercial operations. They're not free. We know not every business is willing to make such a commitment, to volunteer to publicly be held to account for their actions, and indeed to pay for the privilege of doing so. That's not good business for everyone, so why would these guys do it? Well, I've just distilled it as this. They want to contribute to make this a better industry. For them, good business isn't just about taking, it's about giving. The CCF New South Wales family of members are indeed a very special bunch. So when we launched this 6th element, and I rang the businesses in this room to ask them if they wanted to participate, my problem wasn't convincing them to do it, it was getting them off the phone. They were excited, they were eager, They all had stories that they wanted to tell. They got it. They absolutely got it. You get it. We can succeed at moving this heavy gender diversity imbalance, but as I said, we just simply can't do it alone. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm now going to hand over to three very, very special partners in this journey with us. Without these partners, the utility of our endeavours and where we're trying to go would be greatly diminished. I'll introduce, if you forgive me, all of them at once so we don't break the flow. And then I'm going to call on Kim Liddell, a CCF New South Wales board member and chair of the CCF New South Wales Women in Civil Subcommittee, to share her insights into what this program means for women in our industry. Firstly, it's going to be my great pleasure to introduce the New South Wales Minister for Women, the Honourable Tanya Davies MP, a person who I know is passionate and committed to her portfolio. And we'll then have Ken Konofsky, CEO of Roads and Maritime Services, to speak, and then Chris Pracey, as I said, Head of Skills Point, Infrastructure, Energy and Construction. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Minister for Women, Tanya Davies.
Wow, that was impressive, David. You've taken about half of my speech already. So I'll be here for about a minute and then I'll be able to sit down again. No, congratulations and thank you. It's an incredibly exciting day for your industry, for the businesses, for the employers, and also for the future employers to be part of. Thank you for the invitation to be with you today on the launch of a very, very special occasion. And good morning, I'm absolutely delighted to be with you. I too would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands upon which we meet, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, and pay my respects to elders both past and present. Thank you for your welcome, and also I want to acknowledge the other special guests who you will be hearing from very, very soon as well. Thank you to the I haven't had my coffee yet, so just you have to bear with me. To the Civil Contractors Federation New South Wales and David for your invitation today to this important event to officially launch the Women in Civil program. And congratulations to you for taking this leadership role as the state's civil industry peak body in promoting the industry as a welcoming and exciting place for women. The New South Wales Government is building the civil infrastructure the people of New South Wales have needed for a long time. And this is creating exciting work opportunities for men and for women. And we've seen this slide. And I would love to get a copy of that slide if you don't mind. Thank you. And as the New South Wales Government, we are delighted and absolutely committed to encouraging more women to get into the civil contracting industry. And leadership such as yours is vital, as you have already articulated. We cannot do this on our own as a government. You cannot do this on your own as one industry. Everybody across this great state of ours needs to work together towards that one objective of having gender equality in all aspects of our civil society. So I'm delighted to support the CCF's New South Wales Women in Civil program with a $25,000 grant under the Investing in Women program. This is one of 10 grants which totalled more than $200,000 under the 2017 round of Investing in Women. And under this program, the New South Wales Government funds organisations to deliver projects which in practical and direct ways support the economic empowerment and leadership of women. Successful projects must meet 3 strategic directions of work and financial security, of education and learning, and leadership. And it's exciting to see the CCF's New South Wales Women in Civil program. It does tick all of these three aspects. And I'm very excited to hear that you're commencing your mentoring program with 20 pairs of mentors and mentees today. And just as an aside, as a Minister for Women and the government, we've just finalised a statewide round of consultations in the development of the New South Wales Women's Strategy, and that's being finalised as we speak. And we held 8 consultations around this state. And you know what was interesting? I attended 7 of them, and one of the key, absolutely consistent themes wherever I went across the state in talking with women, both young women, middle-aged women as I am, and older women, was this theme of being mentored, of talking with a woman who's further down her pathway and having access to hear her story and hear how she has overcome obstacles and hear how she has battled prejudices and discrimination, and to glean and to learn from her. So when you presented the fact that you're starting this mentoring program today, I was extremely excited and so proud of your organisation. We know that figures from the 2016 ABS are unambiguous. Women make up only a small percentage of the workforce in the strongly male-dominated STEM industries. There is some good news, however. So since 2007, women's employment has increased slightly in 3 of the 4 male-dominated industries. And in my role as Minister for Women, I am determined to see these figures turn around and to see more women move across into the male-dominated industries, because we all know that when women reach that retirement age, that the amount of money that they have, in most cases, sitting in their superannuation is far, far lower than that of a male counterpart in their superannuation. And that has direct impact on their ability to live safely and securely into their retirement age. So this is a real, tangible, current social and moral challenge that we are facing as a collective society. And as I said before, and you've already articulated, David, this challenge that besets us is not a problem only for government. It's a problem and a challenge that we all must step up to the plate and tackle in our own areas of influence. As a New South Wales government, we are working hard to encourage more women to take up STEM careers. And I just want to talk about a couple of them in case you weren't aware of them. So New South Wales is the first state to train specialist primary school teachers to engage younger students in STEM subjects to boost their confidence in maths and science, so they're well prepared for high schools and for careers in STEM. And the first group of specialists will be in our classrooms by the end of this year, effectively in a few weeks' time. We are also investing $20 million to upgrade 50 science labs in New South Wales public schools, and we're partnering with the Catholic Education Office to create the nation's first science-focused school from students who are in pre-K, which is preschool, effectively, through to Year 12. And I am incredibly proud to say that this STEM school is in fact being built in my electorate of Mulgoa in Western Sydney. It's going to be part of the Sydney Science Park. And I've said to the leaders and the champions of that Sydney Science Park, I said, whenever I'm out of politics, and who knows when that will be, I'm going to be ringing you because I want to come and work for you, because what they are creating in Western Sydney is groundbreaking. And there's more on this Sydney Science Park to come, and it is extremely exciting. That's just an aside. I'm very proud of my electorate. So also under the New South Wales Government Smart and Skilled program, the Jobs of Tomorrow initiative offers 25,000 scholarships for students, particularly women, training in STEM-related vocational educational courses. And the annual New South Wales Training Awards also recognises a female apprentice, trainee or vocational student who has undertaken training in a non-traditional trade or vocation. And we know, we've seen the construction boom is underway. This is a great opportunity to encourage more women into the civil construction industry. And so thank you again to the CCF New South Wales for taking a leadership role and working alongside the New South Wales Government in empowering women to take their rightful place in the civil construction industry. And I look forward to hearing about the successes of this program into the future. I was in Albury a couple of days ago, and I was flying back into Sydney in the afternoon. I had the privilege of sitting next to a project manager for a civil construction, 2 sites that are actually being built in rural New South Wales. And I had 40 minutes of fantastic conversation, learning all about how did she get into this field. And it turns out she wanted to be a carpenter. But her mum said, "That's not a job for women, dear." So one of the challenges that still faces all of us is, as we parent our children, is to not box them into stereotypes, is to encourage their natural giftings as parents, and as leaders, as industry leaders, as government, to then look at our policy, look at our environments, and bring the change that we can bring to encourage that diversity and that freedom for women and men to fully become the gifted and talented people that we know reside within them. So I'm very proud to declare this program officially open. Thank you.
It's a complete honour for me to be here to support this CCF women's program and Women in Civil program, and I think it speaks volumes for the importance of this program that the Minister is here supporting this industry in this way. And put simply, we have too many middle-aged blokes in this industry. I know that because I am one, and when I look out across my organisation and in every room I talk to in this industry, there are too many middle-aged blokes. We would be a better industry if it were different, and we have to make it our passion to make it so. Events such as this really provide us with an opportunity to learn from each other, but also to sort of spark changes and conversations that then lead to action. And one of the things I talk about when I talk in my organisation about this issue is it has to be about action. We can have all the good intention that we like, it has to be about action. I go and talk to our regional diversity inclusion forums and I say, I want 2 things. What are you going to do in the next 12 months? And the second thing I want from you is, what should I do? What are the things that you need me to do? RMS as an organisation needs to become more reflective of the community we serve. There's no doubt about that. It's a legacy issue for me. Yeah, I got to build my organisation and I have to build a lot of infrastructure that the government's blessed us with the money to do. We've got to deliver a lot of programs, but we have to leave the organisation in better shape than that which we found it. And one of the legacy issues for me is that it will reflect better the community we serve. That's not just women in leadership. That's about ethnic diversity. It's about Aboriginal employment at every level in the organisation. Those are the things that will make us a better and stronger organisation in the future. We've done some really interesting things at Roads and Maritime Services. We've got some initiatives in blind recruitment so that to take away unconscious bias. We've done unconscious bias training for all of our managers. If you haven't done that, do it. It will open your eyes. It will absolutely open your eyes to why we think leaders are 6'4" men, and do it. It's fantastic. We're doing a lot of things to improve flexibility and to provide better career choice for women in our organisation. None of these things take away the need for people to work hard to succeed. None of these things mean we don't make decisions on merit. We absolutely make decisions on merit. What this is about making what was a very unfair and unbalanced playing field into a fairer and more balanced playing field. So at RMS, we've made a good start. We have women in senior leadership over the last 12, 18 months has gone from about 20% to about 26%. Doesn't sound like much, but that's quite a big shift in that period. People would know we're ramping up for a very big program where we're running in our technical fields about 1 in 3 recruits are women. That's about double the rate that women are represented in engineering faculties around the nation. They run at about 16%. we're running at about 33% in terms of our recruitment. It's a good start, but that's all it is. 50-50 is where we ultimately need to get to. And it's not just about women engineers and women in leadership. So a couple of months ago, I was at our Albion Park Rail Depot, and I was talking to our maintenance crew. And I was having a very interesting and lively debate about whether there were jobs in our organisation and in our construction side of our organisation that women were incapable of doing. They were making a very spirited argument that there were, and I'm sorry to say I was making a very spirited argument that there weren't, but they are wrong. They are wrong, and I'm right. There is no job within our organisation that can't be successfully done by a woman. It was also a little bit ironic. I had one of the my business manager from my office was with me, and she's a fantastic role model, but she also she runs marathons and she climbed Mount Everest, and she's done a whole range of really interesting physical things. And to have like a 60-year-old bloke who, frankly, I could lap in an 800-metre race, telling a story about how there are jobs that he could do and she couldn't do. I'm going, mate, you need to have a good hard look at yourself. We don't need a sort of a business case full of jargon and lots of buzzwords and things to make the business case for this. The business case for this is very clear. It's not just the right thing to do, it's the smart thing to do. As an industry, and David talked about the amount of people, the ageing workforce we've got. As an industry, the war for talent we're going to have is enormous. And to ignore 50% of the workforce is frankly just stupid. And I'd hope as an industry we are many things, but hopefully we're not stupid. It's not just a moral issue. It's not a women's issue. It's a business issue and it's a workforce issue. And we as businesses and government organisations need to take it on as a business issue and treat it very seriously. And the companies that are signing up here are doing just that, and I applaud them for that. I applaud the CCF for this great initiative, and I wish all the companies represented in the room fantastic success in this program. So thank you.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd also like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we meet, the Gadigal people, and to pay my respect to elders past and present and any Aboriginal people who may be meeting with us here today. Now, on behalf of TAFE New South Wales, I'd like to thank David and the CCF board for the opportunity to join you this morning, and most importantly to express how proud TAFE New South Wales is to be the training partner and a sponsor of the Women in Civil initiative. TAFE New South Wales is a strong supporter of diversity and is thrilled to see the number of women in the sector on the rise, albeit a slow rise. Now, as David's slides have clearly pointed out, the opportunities in this industry as a whole are huge with the record infrastructure spend. And because the number of women are relatively small, programs like this play such a critical role in creating opportunities for them to not only enter, but most importantly to stick and progress in this non-traditional industry. TAFE New South Wales is well placed to continue to train and support the future workforce of women in civil construction, and has certainly noticed an uplift in female enrolments across a wide spectrum of skills areas in New South Wales. We work with training and industry partners to deliver relevant quality training from pre-employment skill sets through to full qualifications for apprentice and work supervisors. Now, when I started my engineering degree in 1983 as a cadet with the Department of Main Roads, we made up about 5% of the faculty at that time. There were no female traffic controllers, there were no females on site, no foremen. It is my dream to be able to walk onto a site and see, be able to talk to female leading hands and foremen as a normal way of doing business. Now, we've recently established the Infrastructure, Energy and Construction Skills Point that I hail from. So we'll soon have a dedicated team of infrastructure industry specialists as a point of contact for the civil construction sector. Again, although still modest, we are seeing an increased uptake by women in the civil construction sector through things like the Certificate 2 in civil construction traineeships and through the traditional apprenticeship pathway in the Certificate 3, including areas such as plant operations and road construction. A prime example of this is where TAFE New South Wales partnered with Lend-Lease and the RMS to design a Women in Construction training program, which had 100% completion rate on the Northern Road upgrade. In closing, TAFE New South Wales is committed to supporting CCF and its members as they continue to ride this record infrastructure wave and make the most of these increased opportunities for women in the sector. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. It gives me great pleasure as an industry representative to officially launch the Women in Civil program today. From what started as a tiny little idea in a boardroom perhaps, or in a civil construction member's office, has come to fruition today, and I'm super excited to be launching this. There's clear evidence to show that diversity and inclusion creates positive outcomes in several areas. Increase economic growth and productivity, improve business and organisational excellence, increase capacity for innovation, creativity and problem solving, cohesive cultures able to tackle issues and challenges, and sustainable, agile and resilient businesses in our civil construction industry. These outcomes benefit forward thinking and result in contemporary organisations of tomorrow's future. Recognising that diversity and inclusion significantly enhances these benefits tells us that it's also a central driver for innovation and growth. So today, I'd absolutely love to celebrate women and our civil industry and look forward to creating long-lasting partnerships and networks and a fully inclusive industry. I've been in this industry for over a decade. I started it with one truck and a babe in arms and 2 toddlers at my heels. Testament that if I can do it, any of our women can do it. And I want us to come out of the woodwork, which we've done today, and stand up and be proud of our amazing industry that's fully supportive and inclusive and can make a real difference in lives. So let's get into those schools. Let's educate the girls and women that we can do this together collaboratively with government, with TAFE, with our beautiful Civil Contractors Federation that has this idea that it's come to fruition. So let's join together in collaboration and make this Women in Civil initiative super successful and an industry that we're proud to be part of. Thank you.
Now we come to the fun bit, the truly fun bit. We've got 46 employers that hailed to the call that I made a few weeks back, that have signed the commitment and that you've signed as well, Minister. We've got about 40 of them here, which is extraordinary. Today we're going out to all of our membership to offer them the opportunity to be part of it as well. This is not an exclusive club, but this is a very, very, very fine start. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to do a conga line. Okay, Minister, if we could get you to come up and be here, our photographer, and then I'm going to read out the names of the companies who are here today, and I'll read out the others at the end who are not here but have signed. And if you could just come up with your certificate and get your photo taken with the Minister. Is that okay? All right, A1 Earthworks, Mining and Civil, and we need to move pretty fast. In other words, very fast. Abergeldy Contractors, Effective Services, Anton Civil Engineering, AWJ Civil, Boer Construction Australia, Breffney, Burton Contractors, Cherry Civil Engineering, Christie Civil, Civex, Coastwide Civil, Conplant Hire, Diona, Donnelly Civil, Downer EDI, Ford Civil Contracting, the Gauchon Group, Haslam Constructions, John Holland, Liberty Industrial, Menai Civil Contractors, Mulgoa Quarries, the NA Group, Non-Destructive Excavations, QMC Group, Robson Civil, Samsung C&T Corporation, C Civil, Select Civil, Seymour White Constructions, Superboom, Talus Civil, the BMD Group, TRN Group, UEA Group, Viola Water Technologies, Ward Civil and Environmental, Waterway Constructions, Western Earth Moving, Balti Civil, Latex, MacArthur Gas, Tamworth Precision Excavations, and Wade Civil Engineering. Ladies and gentlemen, 46 companies that have agreed to cross the line and be champions of employers for women in civil. Background music. I can sing. I can sing. Huh? Oh, you don't need it that bad? Christmas carols. It's time for Christmas carols. What? No, the pregnant silence is designed to make people speed through the process of getting their photo taken. Well, we've got to the B's, so that's a good start. Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, CCF, we never fail to try anything that's, you know, not exciting and extravagant. We're going to do one more massive logistical issue. We're going to move some chairs back and we're going to get everyone who's just signed to come up here in that area there, and we're going to do a massive group signing. The Minister's going to sign the sheet over there. So all of you employers who've just been up here, come up here and stand up there, please, if you don't mind. Yeah, I will. I'll make sure yours doesn't go anywhere. I think where are they? I think it's over there. Yes, it's over here. Yeah, if you can hold it, Nick, just to hold the sheet, and then there's a text in there. Come on, everyone, in you go. Shove in. Don't be bashful. Yeah. Back you go. In you go. Just keep pushing in. In we go. Come up on stage, guys, if you want to.
So I need a few more people around this side, please. Can I get you guys to come around here? Now can we squish together nice and tight? Squish, 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 squish. Make sure that you can see me, because if I can't see your face, then you won't be in the photo. Alrighty. Big smiles, everyone. Beautiful. Get you squish together as much as you can, please. Big group. Better, thank you. Brilliant. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Give yourselves a round of applause. Well done. And now to conclude today's event, I'd like to call, if I can, our President, CCF New South Wales President, Mick Boyle.
Look, I won't keep you too long. There's some important work to get done today, but on behalf of CCF New South Wales, I'd really like to thank the Minister, the Honourable Tanya Davies MP, for being here today, for supporting this program, but most importantly, for the words and presence at this commencement today. It's importantly and powerful how important that is to show the government's support. And also, I'd like to thank our two sponsors, New South Wales Road and Maritime Services and TAFE New South Wales. I think both Ken and Christine spoke very well today, and the support of organisations like this, combined with the whole industry, as David and everybody says, gives this the maximum chance for success. And as we all know, and as it's been shown, it's very important. We're very, very lucky and I'm particularly lucky to be the president of CCF at the moment. We've got a wonderful board. We have, it's not, there is too many grey hairs, as grey-haired white men like Ken said, but it is changing. We've got regional members, we've got international companies on our board, we've got small contractors, we've got large interstate contractors, and so we do represent the industry reasonably well, and we do have a lot of passionate people around the board table thinking on how we can make the industry in New South Wales better. I'd like to particularly thank our Kim Liddell and Julia Ward, who were up there with the signing. They've both led this. Well, Kim's led it, but Julia's been heavily supportive. And you know, the truth is, for 10 years, we've had a board member responsible for women in construction, but he was a man, and it didn't do any good. So the world is changing. I know that better than most people. I've got one daughter who's studying civil engineering and one son who's studying dance. So I think, you know, and you know, the people here today are proof that the world is changing. There is women in civil. We just got to make it a better industry all round, and we've got a lot of good people here. I'd like to thank the most important people in the room, the mentors and the mentees. I think, you know, you are in the industry, and you know, you, with our help, all the commitment you've seen today from the companies, will make this a better industry. You're the start of something very special, and you know, I can't thank you enough. Right now, we've got, look, I should thank David and all the team at CCF. There's a lot of work gone into this, so thank you. But I think the way it is, that's it. Thank you very much. Till 10:30, we can stay here and mingle. At 10:30, the mentors and mentees have to move into the Avenue room to commence the mentoring. I think it would be really nice if we could get all the mentors and mentees up here to get a photo with the Minister as well, if we could do that just before anything else happens. And I'd just like to thank you all very much for being here today.